There are some mistakes that online coaches make when setting up their social media profile, which causes them to make absolutely no money and causes them to stay stuck in their job or on the gym floor counting reps. I'm going to show you the difference in this video between social media profiles that make over $10,000 plus per month very consistently and ones that make absolutely nothing. In fact, at the end of this, I'm going to be brutally ripping apart about 4 social media profiles. Number 1, for your viewing pleasure, I suppose, but number 2, so that you can learn how to go about setting up your profile in the right way. By the end of this video, you should be able to go away and set up your online social media profile so that you can get online coaching clients in the next 3 months. And if you want me to audit your social media profile, DM me on Instagram saying audit. My Instagram's at TomMuchMove. I'll leave that in the description of this video. But anyway, let's jump into this, because you really can grow your online coaching business to the point where you're making 3K per month, 5K per month, even 10K per month, but only if you don't overcomplicate it. The most common reason that I see people fail to reach these numbers, it's not because they're idiots. It's not because you can't do it. It's just because they focus on the wrong things. Most people don't get this. Growing your online coaching business in most cases is knowing what not to do instead of knowing what to do in some cases. I know that sounds so crazy, and I'm sure you have those clients if you're working with PT clients at the moment and they're always trying to add on more stuff. Oh, should I go and do extra steps, or should I add this into my diet? Should I do, this style? Should I use this supplement or do this style of diet? Should I go to this class? And you're like, no, just stick to the goddamn plan, right? And that's kind of the situation that you're in right now with building your online coaching business. I'll be very blunt. You don't need a website. You don't need business cards. You 100% don't need testimonials. This is the main thing that I see people wasting time on when they first get into this. So if you're in the works, I speak to a lot of you guys, and so many people turn around to me and say, oh, I'm just getting my website built, and I'm waiting for my business cards to come. Stop. Just cancel the business cards, cancel the website, get a refund on your website builder, whatever, right? Because you don't need that. It's not going to get you clients. It's not going to make you money, and more importantly, it's not going to let you help people. And I'm guessing that's why you want to do this. You're only doing these things, or most people are only doing these things to make themselves feel better, or because they don't actually know what to do. Well, look, this channel is all about telling you or showing you exactly how this works, exactly how online coaching works, without fluffing it up into fancy systems or trying to aggressively market to you to buy my business coaching or anything like that. Obviously, I'd love it if you became a client. Of course, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to work with you, but ultimately, this is to give you the truth, so that when you do come into the program, or you do go into another program, or grow your online coaching business, you're doing it from integrity and from what actually works, instead of wasting time and ultimately just not contributing to the betterment of people's health. So 99% of people, they're focused on this sort of stuff, right? And I know this because, again, I speak to hundreds and potentially thousands of coaches at this point. 99% of people are just wasting their time on stuff that doesn't matter. Whereas the 1%, they have one streamlined way of doing things. Now, this is my client, Andrew, that you're looking at. I have brought Andrew up previously. Let me just wipe off the markings here. I brought up Andrew previously just because he had such good growth with his business. And it's particularly in the way that we actually ran his profile and the way that we built this. I'm particularly proud of this, and I think it just serves as such a good example because he does so many things right, which we'll talk about here in a second. But just take a look at this and soak it in for a second. Right, the point of this and the point of Andrew's offer is he helps busy professionals build an aesthetic physique without hours in the gym. The really important thing to think about with online coaching is you are selling a transformation, okay? Meaning that people are on one side of this sort of chasm, they're wanting to get to the other, they have a before and after state that they want, right? Now, most people, what they're doing is they're trying to sell the architecture underneath the bridge. They're trying to sell the programs or the fancy ways of working out. Guess what? No one cares. And this is going to leave you feeling like nobody is interested in online coaching. I bet you felt that way before, right? Like, just feels like nobody actually wants to buy. Like, the market isn't even interested in online coaching. And this is a really disheartening feeling. I remember when I first started out, it actually made me quit multiple times because I thought, no one actually wants online coaching. But until I realized that people just want the result, I didn't make any money. And that's what we have to be focused on here. So you'll notice that looking back at Andrew's profile now, building this aesthetic physique is essentially the result that he's selling. Without spending hours in the gym is the pain that he's solving, right? So the rest of the profile has to be congruent with that. Just like his profile picture is showing off his own physique, which is obviously aesthetic, just like he's showing his client wins where they've got aesthetic physiques. He's even got different shots of himself. The man's really flexing on his audience, right? But it's almost what you want to do in a sense. Not to the point where it's weird, obviously, and not to the point where it's cringe. Do it tastefully, of course. And that's what I feel Andrew does. And that's why it's worked so well. That's why he's been able to go to, consistent 5-figure months so quickly, within 4 months, right? From 1,000, or maybe even less than 1,000 per month. Just insane. So let's just wipe the markings off here as well from my last presentation. We're going to go through the actual setup of the profile, right? I'm going to take you through this, and I'm going to show you some really common mistakes that people make so that you can absolutely avoid them. I'll just keep them hidden on the screen for a second here. But the first thing that we're going to focus on is your Instagram handle, right? I see so many people making their Instagram handle like their business name. You don't need to do that. You really don't need to do that because nobody cares. Like I know it sounds kind of harsh, and I feel a little bit harsh saying it, but it's just the truth. Like no one actually really cares about your business name. People want clarity. People want to trust you. There is a trust recession at the moment. Trust is at an all-time low, and the sort of the busyness of the market is at an all-time high. So we have to behave differently to what traditional companies have behaved like, right? And we have to grow it with our personal brand. So that's why having a really simple is important. I know Andrew kind of has defied that a little bit. Brucei is his, I don't know, it's like a nickname of his. And it's a nice clean @ People can just go ahead and spell it. You can say it to people. It's not got underscores and numbers and all that stuff in there. It's just clean, right? And that's what you want. You want to help people. You want people to have less information going in. I know that sounds crazy, but you want to save room in your customer's mind, save room in people's mind when they're looking at your account for the information that really, really matters. So the next thing, again, clear profile picture. You want either something depicting your outcome that you help people achieve like Andrew does, showing off the physique. If that's not your offer, that's absolutely fine. So what you can include is just you, right? Because again, we've got to increase that trust. We've got to show our face, and we've got to be out there. So having a picture of yourself in there, which is clear, it's related to the gym, and it doesn't look like a weird fake account, is really, really important. So just normal picture, you in the gym, nothing crazy. I'll show you some examples here soon. Next is obviously your name and your title. So Andrew has got Andrew Russell, transformation coach. I would recommend having a similar thing. If your thing is helping people have transformations, then you can put that in there. If you're specifically weight loss, you can have weight loss coach. If you're specifically weight loss for women, you can have women's weight loss coach. That's a really good way of doing it as well. Now, the next thing is your bio. I actually recommend having a ridiculously simple bio. In fact, the less, I know it sounds crazy, but the less you can have in there, the better. It's not about cramming as much into that tiny little space on the page as possible. It's about having the minimal amount of words in there and getting the message across still. So I would have who you help and what you help them do. Okay? So like Andrew's got, helping busy professionals build aesthetic physiques. Really, really simple. And then a call to action. Andrew has DM me results for more info. Again, one funnel. One place for people to go. In fact, I would even recommend if you're getting to, obviously Andrew's a little bit further than, 0 to sort of 5K at the moment. He's at the point where he's trying to scale past, 20K, 30K. So he's actually got the YouTube link there, which for him is fine. I would say don't copy that. For you, if you're starting out and you're actually not at the point where you're making that sort of money yet, and you're at even 0, don't worry about having the link in your bio. It's not going to do you much good, to be honest, because not many people are going to be clicking on it. We just want one simple streamlined funnel to your DMs, because if you've watched any of the other videos, which again, you should, there's like a full 90-day roadmap, and it's like an hour-long video. It's going to take you from like 0 to the point where you're making 3 to 5K per month. I'll link that. It'll be the top link in the description of this video, which you can go and watch that video. That's going to teach you exactly how to do the rest of the marketing system that we actually work with. Now, a lot of that is going to be reliant on the DMs, because if you're trying to build a coaching business fast, and if you're trying to get there in the next 3 to 6 months, then it's kind of unlikely that you're just going to be able to post or put up a website link and people are going to go and buy. There's going to have to be some level of relationship building and one-to-one connection. Does that mean that you need to go cold DM a bunch of people? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. We want to attract people and create conversation opportunities in a way which is congruent to you, your personality, your offer, your niche, all of that stuff, right? It's important that this fits you. So anyway, that's that. So your outcome wants to be pretty bold. It wants to be pretty tangible and clear. And then in your highlights, what I would recommend having is results to back it up. So basically you're providing evidence that you can actually help people do that. Or if you don't have results from your client set, you can just have your own story, right? Because that's ultimately going to, show social proof. It's going to show evidence that you can achieve yourself what you help other people do. And then the next thing is your pinned post. Now, if you don't have any pinned posts at the moment, at an absolute minimum, if you've got client results, 100% put your results there. That's really, really important. If you don't have any results, I would just recommend having your story. Don't worry so much about your offer. If you really have a good grip of what your offer is and what your process is and the steps that you take your clients through, then this could be good to have. But, don't stress too much over your pinned post. The main point here is that this looks clean and congruent. And I'll show you examples of pages that don't look clean and congruent and ones that do here in a second. But let's jump into some of the most common mistakes that people actually make when going ahead and building their profile. Now, the entire theme of building your profile, and the thing that I want you to really think about here, is don't be clever, be clear. I heard Alex Hormozy say it, but I'm pretty sure he's not the first one to have said this, especially when it comes to advertising. I actually think this comes from law. I actually think this comes from a writer that writes about law. I could be mistaken, but this quote. But it's so relevant to your social media profile. You want to help people. Like a 5-year-old should be able to go onto your social media profile and know what it is that you do, right? It should be really, really simple. People should have to be like mentally disabled, like severely mentally disabled, not to know what it is that you do. And I mean that. It needs to be like really, really, really clear. And it also needs to not burn mental calories. You're not looking to open up curiosity loops around like what it is that you provide. How you provide it and how you help people achieve the result that you help people do, that's fine. That can have a curiosity loop. And naturally with having a big, bold outcome that you say that you help people achieve, that will be the case. But in terms of like the outcome that you say that you help people get, that just needs to be really, really clear. Here's some common mistakes that people don't make. Do these if you don't want online clients. If you don't want online clients, this is what you should do, right? Don't make these mistakes, guys. So first is a logo in the profile picture. Get rid of the logo. It's pointless. It's ugly. People don't care about your sort of brand at the moment. You're not a known brand, so it means nothing. Your brand isn't built yet. If you're starting from scratch, your brand means nothing. You do have to build that up, but the most powerful way, the way that you can ignite it with rocket fuel, the growth of your brand, is by being the individual that runs it. And then eventually you become two separate entities and you productize and all that stuff comes at a later date. But for now, if you're just wanting to get online, you are the brand, right? You are a personal brand, so it needs to be you on there. Next is having a branded at. Obviously, we went through that. Don't do that. Qualifications in the bio. No one cares about that either. No one cares about that either. What do people care about? Answer in your head right now. What are people buying? What do people care about? What do people want? What do people pay you for? What is it? I'm drawing it on the screen right now. It's a transformation. It's a result. I draw this probably about 50 times per day. That's not even an exaggeration, like with all my clients and people. But like genuinely, this diagram, I'm not the person who's created it, but like this really, really, really helped me understand how to build an offer. And so many online coaches just don't get this when they're getting into it. You are selling the after result. When you see before and afters, the thing that you are selling is the after result. They don't care about qualifications. They're not bothered. They don't even know what it means, right? Level 2, level 3 PT, nutrition, like it doesn't mean anything to people who are not in shape. The only people it means something to is yourself. You're just putting it there to make yourself feel proud, and that's fine, but it's not going to make you more money. So qualifications in the bio, get rid of them. Location in the bio, again, if you're optimizing for online coaching, it's not necessary. esoteric messages in the bio. If anybody doesn't know what an esoteric message means, it's kind of like inside jokes or inside culture that, like, an example, this is a really weird example, it's like Illuminati conspiracy theories. If anybody's ever seen this, maybe this is just me and this is such a weird tangent, but if anybody's ever seen like the Disney Illuminati conspiracy theory videos where, like, in Disney film covers of like the old Disney films, there would be some like weird triangular symbolism, and it would mean these esoteric like messages that like only certain people could understand if like they decoded it. They shouldn't have to decode what you're saying. Don't try and be mysterious and have some weird vague like line in there, right? It's just not necessary. Just be, I'm gonna say it again, be clear. So more than 3 lines in your bio. Try not to have more than 3 lines in your bio. I would just have who you help, what you help them do, and a call to action. Again, I'm going to show you some examples here soon. And, you know, again, if you want to have me help you craft your bio and whatnot, then just reach out for the social media profile audit, and I can absolutely give you some assistance with that. Next is too much info in the bio. So again, we don't want information overload. We don't want to fatigue your viewers, because the more fatigued they are, the less likely they are to take action. We want to energize, inspire, and clearly direct them to where they need to go. Too many highlights. You just don't need like loads and loads and loads of highlights. It's just completely unnecessary, right? Just have the results of your story. Really simple. And then if you've got no pin posts, I would suggest pinning some posts, even if it's just like the best content that you've made, or like the most liked picture, or the most liked reel, the most viewed reel that you've got. Just pin that so that people have got something to consume when they're coming onto your profile. So yeah, that's pretty much how you set it up. I'm going to move into brutally ripping apart people's social media profiles now. I'll be gentle, don't worry. I'll be gentle. So first up, we've got Ehab. I actually did a Facebook live last night, and I already audited Ehab. So Ehab's watched this. Ehab's also a friend of mine, so he kind of knows what's going on here. But yeah, I just want to make some things really clear just for anybody watching. So Ehab's profile is actually pretty good, and it actually has produced results in the past, like really good results. But if we want to get scale on this, I think that we need to start to get some congruency, and we need to start to build up a consistent feeling of when people come to his account. Now, first things first is the profile picture. I would say it's a little bit irrelevant. It looks a little bit more social. Is it bad by any means? No, and it's worked. But I would say making this a little bit more health specific now is going to be the better option. He's got his name, Ehab, performance coach for entrepreneurs. Performance coach for entrepreneurs, that makes sense. I would like to shorten that down somehow and be more articulate around like the outcome, like increased energy coach for entrepreneurs. It makes no sense, but you get where I'm going with that. We need to speak to the outcome, because that's what we're selling. Helping online business owners take control of their energy with personalized tests and protocols. So to be honest, helping online business owners take control of their energy. So if we're thinking about the outcome that we're selling and the clarity of that outcome, I would say that we have a little bit of an offer messaging problem here. Like, take control of their energy isn't a tangible enough thing or an outcome that we can actually reach out and touch. And that's going to kind of like lower the impact of this. Because when we read this, it's like, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's actually a separate problem to like your profile. That's like a messaging and offer problem altogether. I made a full video on that. It's like the first video I ever posted on this channel. I'll link that below as well for anybody who wants to go and get the messaging behind their content right and really understand like how to articulate a result in the best possible way. But yeah, okay, so then he's got DM me focus. So he's doing a lot of things right. You've also got the website link there as well. Personally, I would like to take the website link out. Our business, you know, we're at a really high level now. We don't have a website link. You know, we don't bother with that. We just consider the social media, the website, and we find that works way better. Next thing that we're looking at here with Ehab's profile is actually his highlights. Now, he's got one highlight that says results, which is fantastic. That's what we want. But then he's got just random names. And I know, because I've looked at these are his clients and people he's worked with, Connor, Martin, Nick, Hayden. But it doesn't really articulate what's going on. Like, there's no context behind this. And because it's not necessarily a really strong outcome that we're articulating, it doesn't mean anything. Like, there's no impact there, and that's what we want to be having. We want to have that psychological impact and arousal. I know it sounds weird, but like, we want to spike people's intrigue and dopamine levels, which is arousal, around like what it is that we're helping people do and what it is that you can provide for them. Like, for example, I used to sell helping people get into shape, having a good body so that they could attract better partners. And then I taught people doing a handstand. Now I help online coaches transition their business online so that they can have a life of freedom, right? Those are all things that are exciting and that people want, right? So taking control of their energy, taking control of my energy, it doesn't really mean anything, or it doesn't really mean what we want it to, right? I know what he's trying to say, but we need to get a more tangible outcome around that. Not to linger on that point too long. Again, with the pin posts, they're good, but it's the same thing, to be honest, with the results pin post. I know that this post on the top left here is like his results type thing. I would personally opt for having just more clear articulation. So a bit of a more fundamental problem going on there, which is going to hold you back a little bit, Ehab, but it's definitely something that we can solve. Moving on to Vito. This is what I've been looking forward to. So Vito, I know that we spoke a while back, and you've been keen to get your social media profile audited. So I'm excited to jump into this for you, because the content I've been seeing over the past few months, by the way, man, has been really, really good to see. You've been putting the work in, doing your own transformation, and yeah, that's great. Now, looking through your profile, actually, there's a lot of things that we're doing right, and I'm actually enjoying the sort of vibe of it. Profile picture, it's good. It's a little bit thirst trappy in my opinion. I would probably I know it's not meant to be super thirst trappy, but I would probably not do like a mirror selfie, or if you are going to do a mirror selfie, maybe try and do it in a more sort of gym-like setting. It's not a terrible profile picture. I don't think you need to necessarily like stress about moving this. I know that you're currently doing a weight loss transformation. And I think if you can get some sort of photo shoot done, or if you can get just, I don't know, your friend or somebody to take a picture of you in the gym looking jacked, or whatever, or in the garden looking jacked, then that would work equally as well. And then you've got here in your name, oh, by the way, your handle's perfect. It's just your name and PT. And then obviously your actual name here, you've got Vito Alone. Online coach. So online coach, that could be changed to like the type of online coach that you are. So obviously you're helping people lose weight. So it could be men's weight loss coach, right? That would make more sense, since so your offer is helping guys 18 to 26 lose weight. I wouldn't be too stressed out about like going super niche on the age demographic. I think that helping men lose weight is niche enough, and your personal branding and your personal niche will do the sort of rest of the work for you there. You've got here 20 pounds plus in 16 weeks. Down 20 pounds plus. Sorry, I didn't read the emoji there. I would be tempted to put like a minus sign there or something like that, just because sometimes people don't actually, maybe it's just me, it might just be me, to be fair, but sometimes people don't actually like clock emojis and like what they actually mean. But yeah, this is good. So obviously like that's your form of social proof. You've got who you help, you've got your social proof, and then you've got DM me to find out more. You could have an actual word so that people just have a really clear thing to go and send to you. You could have like DM me strong, or DM me lose, or whatever, or DM me weight loss to find out more. And I think that would work really, really well. Then here on your highlights, you've got I'm not sure what that is. I guess that's just your workouts. You've got your own cut, you've got food, and you've got testimonials. I would be tempted to take out food and take out workouts and just have like, I would put my cut, or my transformation on that one, and then I would keep your testimonials, and that's going to be looking very, very clean. So yeah, really nice work so far, man. I'd be interested to hear what's going on in the back end after you've been posting this content. I know that we need to get these followers growing a little bit, and we need to increase the traffic flow on what you're doing here. And then let's have a look at your actual content itself. So yeah, I mean, this pin post, I haven't got your profile up right now, but this pin post, I'm not quite sure what it's about. Read below for how it... Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if it's just your like most viewed post or something like that. But I would consider making a bit of an introductory post around who you are and what you're doing, why you've decided to help men lose weight, what your transformation is. Because like, I actually follow you, Vito, and I watch your content and I watch your story, but I don't feel like I know too much about you as an individual and as a person. So that could be really nice to see. Moving on to Brian. So Brian, I'm going to break yours down. I know that we're getting into this video like 25 minutes in. I'm gonna do this relatively quickly because I know that we did yours on the live the other night. So with yourself, Brian, profile pictures, cool. Could we be a little bit more close up to the camera and look a bit more professional? Yeah, but honestly, this is fine. I wouldn't say that it's that bad. Your handle is something I would change. You've got coach_B1313. I think that you could change that to just your name and coach. Just makes it cleaner, makes it easier, in my opinion. And then you've got in your name, coach. You've got Brian Roy, Coach B. Strength, health, and fitness training. I think that you need to have something more related to your offer, which is helping busy dads lose the gut. I think that you need to have like dad weight loss coach for dads, something like that. And then with your bio, first line's great, second line's good. And then you've got your location in the bottom one. I would just get rid of your location. I'd also get rid of the Facebook group link so that you've got as your bio, helping busy dads lose the gut without sacrificing family time. DM me Shred for more info. I'd also put the word shred in caps so that people can really see that. And then here you've got testimonials and then highlights. I'd probably get rid of the highlights one. I'm not sure what's supposed to be in there unless that's testimonials as well. You can put testimonials on that one. The logo type thing, I'm not sure if it looks that aesthetic, just being like really honest. I'm no graphic designer, but I don't feel like it looks that cool. I would maybe just make it a little bit more minimalistic, but again, not a huge problem. Now, scrolling down to your profile and your actual content, obviously, Brian, this is yourself, and I know that in this, because I know you personally, I know that you're depicting your own transformation in this, but this kind of just looks like it's a picture of you. And if we're thinking it from like a really surface level, which is what people are thinking like when they're going onto your social media profile, then it's likely not going to like register the right message, right? We're not showing off the result that you've had there. We're just showing off the before. So it's like, I don't know, from a subconscious level, we're like, oh, is that what Brian looks like? Obviously, I know that you don't look like that now, but people might think that. So I would actually go ahead and make this like a before and after. And then obviously you've got a great client results down here. I would just have that as a before and after as well. So just one picture, two picture, and I would probably have those two as your two pin posts up at the top here. And then you can make the rest of your content more congruent with that offer as time goes on. Moving on to our last one of the day, we've got Tyson Tooley. So with yourself, Tyson, there's a lot of things that we're doing right. Actually, your profile picture looks great. Your handle's great. Your name is perfect. And then your bio, you've got, I help busy men drop 20 pounds in 60 days without stepping foot in the gym. DM me fat loss for a free 7-day diet. I'm not sure what you've got here, whether this is like a funnel or whatever. I would be tempted to just take that out for the time being, just to show you, like with our client Andrew, he went from literally 1k per month to 13k per month in it was like in 4 months. And that was just done through like simplicity, and no doubt that the way that we set up his profile added to that, because we were running a ton of ads once we were past sort of 5k to his profile. And that's the thing that's just sort of instantly doubled his cash to get to that point. But I think just like in the early stages, that simplicity really, really worked well. So something to consider. And then down in your highlights, you've got your story, social proof. I wouldn't name it social proof, because social proof is kind of like an internal marketing psychology term. I would actually name that just results. Then you've got client feedback. Again, I might just call that testimonials. You've got transformations, testimonials. So it's all basically what you want. I would maybe change this to like wins or something like that. Instead of social proof. But yeah, this is a really good start. So looking at your content, this is, I think, where it gets a little bit tricky, because this just doesn't look good. Like, this just doesn't look aesthetic, to be honest. So I'm not sure what's going on in this pin post. I'm sure there's a caption explaining it, but I would maybe unpin that. Again, I'm a big believer in just having that social proof up there. Big, bold result, and then a load of evidence showing that you can help people do it in both places. The only thing that I would change here, I think that we need to clean up your Instagram anyway. For some reason, you posted frequently mispronounced words. Not sure what that has to do with your offer. That's probably not going to make you money, unless there's something I don't know there. But excuse me, I would probably clean up these before and afters so that you can go ahead and just show off the result. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Subscribe if you liked it, and see you in the next.